you say Shot City? Shot City, Shot City.
Welcome to Second City Sports Chat. I am your host, Ryan Ever, alongside Pete Argus and Dan, the Freakster Frigo. We got some good topics for you today. We're going to start with the AP Top 25 preseason poll for college football. Bama, no surprise, defending back-to-back defending national champions, actually. They're ranked number one, no surprise. I think they got only missed 2 votes out of being number one. 2 other votes that spread out. But,
yes.
We'll go through the top 25, we'll bring them off, and then we will talk a little bit about what we think about it, and we'll give you our national championship picks. 1, Alabama. 2, The Ohio State. 3, Oregon. 4, Stanford. 5, Georgia. 6, South Carolina. 7, Texas A&M. 8, Clemson. 9, Louisville. 10, Florida. 11, Florida State. 12, LSU. 13, Oklahoma State. 14th, Notre Dame. 15, Texas. 16, Oklahoma. 17, Michigan. 18, Nebraska. 19, Boise State. 20, TCU. 21, UCLA. 22, Northwestern. 23, Wisconsin. 24, USC. And 25, Oregon State. Pete, I know you want to start this off. Any teams you want to talk about? Anything in particular about the poll?
Well, I'll talk about the local team, Northwestern. This is a big year for them. I feel like this is the most talent they've had at Northwestern in years. And they're lucky enough because most of their tough games that they would have this year are at home. So you could have some big crowds there finally at Ryan Field. And this is the year, other than maybe Ohio State, I think Michigan, they're ranked in the top 25, but I feel like they're down definitely from last year. So I feel like this is the chance really for Northwestern to make some noise here in the Big Ten. What do you think about Northwestern?
I agree with that. I think they're playing a weak conference this year, besides Ohio State and Michigan. But anything can happen with Michigan. We've seen that in the last few seasons with them.
Mm-hmm.
So Northwestern, like you said, they got a lot of good big home games coming up that hopefully get a lot of fans out there to Ryan Field. It's great to see Northwestern finally on the up and up again, and I think they can compete. I don't think they can beat the teams or win the Big Ten this year. I don't think they're there for that. I think Ohio State is too good for that. But I think they can get themselves into a good bowl game, and that would be pretty fun to see.
Yeah. Another team I was looking at was number 9, Louisville. Another question mark for them is they got the weak non-conference schedule like they always do usually, and they have the weak conference schedule, and it looks like they could easily be 12-0. So my question to you, Ryan, would be if they're 12-0, and then maybe say a team like Georgia or Stanford, some team like that has 1 loss, is that going to elevate them in the national championship, or will Louisville be able to probably play Bama?
Well, I think that I agree with you. Louisville has a very, very weak schedule this year. They should easily run the table. When your first opponent of the season is Ohio University, and that's your toughest opponent, I think kind of sums up your schedule for the most part. They should easily go and run through those schedules. I think, though, like you mentioned, if there is a team that has that 1 loss, like a Stanford or Georgia, or anyone, or even an Oregon up there, I believe that just because their schedule is tougher, I think that makes it that much harder for Louisville to have a lock into getting to the national championship game. And even if they get there and they got to play a team like Bama, if Bama's back there, which most part I believe they will be, I don't know if they can really compete. Can Bridgewater really compete against that Bama defense?
Because that would be a team and a defense and the type of speed and just the NFL talent that'll be on the field. It'll be something different than they've seen all year. And then go back to the key conference game, Ohio. That's a pretty tough team. Okay.
Yeah, support your Bobcats.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that because that's the school I go to. But no, I'm not feeling the upset like we had last year with Penn State. I felt like that was a perfect situation for an upset, but I'm not feeling it this year. Another team I was looking at was at 7, Texas A&M, pretty much making the most noise this offseason with the whole Johnny Manziel thing. And I think they're going to be really interesting because with that, is he going to actually be able to play? If he does play, are we going to find out a couple years from now that they're going to have to take away the wins? It's really up in the air, and I feel like what kind of team would Texas A&M be if Manziel actually does have the miss games?
If Johnny Football doesn't play this season, Texas A&M is screwed. they can. I don't think they have the talent to really compete at a high level in that SEC. Can't do it. Johnny Manziel, even though it was a very small sample what we got to see from him, I think a lot of people, including scouts, are really hoping he can play. NFL scouts, because you really want to see now with an SEC conference as juggernaut as it is, those defenses that have a year under their belt to study him and see how he responds and how they respond against him. So I think without Johnny Manziel, they're really in trouble. But I think with Johnny Manziel, I still don't think this is a team that's going to finish in the top 10 in the rankings. I think they're going to have a couple of losses here and there. I think with a year under the belt, it's going to be really tough for Manziel to really excel like we saw last year.
Yeah, and back to like what Manziel and the great year they had last year, I think a lot of teams, not only, Bama of course lost to him, so Bama's been scouting hard against Manziel, so is Georgia, South Carolina, all these strong SEC teams. So it's like they're taking their whole off season to find out how to beat Johnny Football. Last year they didn't do that.
Right.
Okay, so it's like teams are now looking for ways to beat him.
And that's how you're going to see what type of quarterback he can really be, is when people have scouted you, can you stop that? Or can you respond and then play like last year? The only way they're going to have another successful year is if he plays better than he did last year, and I don't see that happening. We will do a little bit of a very early national championship pick. We will start with Pete. Pete, your pick to win the national championship game.
Back to back. I got the Crimson Tide winning this year.
I
feel like the top 25 is very familiar. It's filled with almost the same teams that it is almost every year. And it's the same question that we had last year. Is there a team that actually can knock Bama off? And like last year, there actually was a team, but they still were able to make it with A&M knocking them off. But I just feel like they're just so much stronger, faster. I don't know if there's a team that can honestly, in that top 25, that can even, maybe Ohio State, but I just don't really trust their quarterback as much as I would trust McCarron, who's won back-to-back national championships. So I just think Bama's just strongly above all the other teams.
Dan, you don't have Bama winning it. You do have a team knocking them off the national championship game. Who would that be?
Well, that would be my Oregon.
He's got the Oregon. He's got the quack attack coming at him.
And like I said, it's the same teams, but, Bama is just so fast, and like you said, they're just a good team. There's not many teams out there that you think, especially right now, to take them out. And, so Oregon, just a different team. It's upset them. Like you said, they lost Chip Kelly, but I don't think that would be, it would hurt them, but I don't think, they'll still be a good team.
And then, to Dan's point with the Oregon pick, I like it because you talk about Bama with the speed, but Oregon almost can say, well, we got the speed as well. So
right, Oregon's a very quick team.
So if Oregon, people forget when they played Auburn, that game was a lot closer. Because people were like, oh, the SEC, they're gonna beat them with all this. It was so close in that game. Maybe a couple turnovers away, Oregon actually wins the national championship. So Oregon could be a team that could actually beat Bama because they can go with that speed with Alabama's defense.
Right. I will go with another Pac-12 team. I'm going to go with Stanford. I think that Stanford has a very easy schedule for the most part. It's not easy if you look at the teams on it for some part of it, but at least if all those tough games, they're playing them at home. They're playing at home. So I think that helps them out a lot. I think they'll be able to run the table. Maybe, like we said with that one loss thing, that could be against Oregon, I believe.
Yeah.
But I think everybody else, Oregon State and Notre Dame, I think they can beat them. And I think that will help. If they do run the table going into, they'll go into that national championship game. And probably they'll play Bama. And I think it's a different style that Bama's going to face them. And I think it could, depending on where Bama's at, health-wise and all that, they could knock off Bama. We will move on out of the college football. We'll move to professional football. We'll move to the NFL. Doing this a little early. We're going to give you our week 1 picks. This is how we're going to do it. Thursday night games this season will get 2 points if you're right. Monday night games will also get 2 points if you're right. And an upset pick can also give you an additional 2 points. We'll keep track throughout the season. And we will, at the end of the year, see who wins. And if you want to let us know your picks as well, more than happy to keep track. We'll start with the first game of the new year, Baltimore at Denver. Pete, who you got?
I got Denver winning that game.
Dan?
Yeah, Baltimore.
I as well have Baltimore winning that game. Defending champs against Peyton Manning. Broncos look a little beat up right now. See what can happen there with the new look Ravens. We'll go New England at Buffalo. Dan?
That's easy, New England.
I have New England, but it will be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, I think I have New England as well, but like Pete, it'll be closer because it is in Buffalo. CJ Spiller's going to run all day, I think. It's going to be a pretty good
This
game.
is when Buffalo plays well at the beginning of the year.
Right. I agree. Now we will go Tennessee at Pittsburgh. Pete?
I got Pittsburgh winning. I'm not sure why, but I have them winning. I have a feeling Tennessee will win it, but I just don't trust the quarterback, so I'm going with Pittsburgh.
I'm going with Tennessee on this one.
Alright. I will agree with Pete. I will go with Pittsburgh. You could either go either way with that, but I think Pittsburgh, Big Ben, going to get it done, win the first week of the season. One of the very few ones they'll get this year. Next, Atlanta, the Dirty Birds at New Orleans. Dan?
I picked was it Atlanta at New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick New Orleans.
Okay. Pete?
I picked New Orleans, and I want to go back on the last podcast when I kind of ripped Ryan about the whole New Orleans Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, thank you.
I just don't. They got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Okay, I want to take that back, but I mean, I don't want to sound like a fool, but I'm just taking it back because this might be a revenge tour, and I really like the way the Saints are playing this preseason.
Apologize.
But saying all that, I'm picking New Orleans to beat Atlanta because the game's in New Orleans, and I think this is going to be a show me year for Sean Payton.
I believe New Orleans will win too because I believe that will be the kickoff of the revenge tour. I believe they're going to beat down Atlanta. Not going to be too big, but because it is New Orleans, it helps them out a lot. It gets loud in that dome, and I think they're going to win just fine. Then we got my Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Jets. Pete?
Well, the Jets, I think they're going 0-16. They can't win this game, so I'm going Tampa.
I'll agree, and I will also go with Tampa. Revis gets 2 picks. Dan, who you got?
Well, Mark Sanchez and his 30 Sanchez. Got looking good right there, but I'm still
I like the handlebar you got going on lately.
So Tampa Bay on that one?
Of course.
Okay, we got Tampa.
I'm not crazy.
Oh, we were a little scared there.
Yeah.
The new look Kansas City Chiefs versus the even fancier new look Jacksonville Jaguars. Dan, who you got?
I'm gonna go KC.
Jaguars got their quarterback, Blaine Gabbert. They got great uniforms. Kansas City.
Yeah, I got Kansas City as well. Andy Reid, Alex Smith, the new duo. They're going to get themselves a win in Week 1. Seattle at Carolina, Pete.
Cam Newton, love him. I like the way he's playing. I think he's going to have a good year. I like Seattle.
Okay. You're really throwing it off.
I know. You like this?
Go ahead, Dan.
I want to say the same thing as well. Cam Newton, awesome. No one to throw to, but Seattle's the best way to go.
I will agree that Cam Newton has no one to throw to, and that Seattle's going to eat them up. Seattle gets this one. And then we got Cincinnati at the Bears. Pete, who you got?
I want to pick Cincinnati. I really do as a Packer fan.
I think everybody wants to pick Cincinnati.
I really
Hot
do.
team.
I really do. But the Bears play well, and I know that at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to pick the Bears.
You would, Dan?
I wanted to go Cincinnati. I like how they're playing. They're becoming a strong team, but gotta go with the Monsters of Midway. So
Yeah, I agree. Cincinnati looks real good so far. The Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, tearing it up with AJ Green. But Bears, you're right. Bears play outstanding in the beginning of the year, so I am going to go with the Chicago Bears. Next one, New Jersey Miami Dolphins. They got some New Jerseys there, looking fancy. At your Cleveland Browns, Pete.
Well, they're not my Cleveland Browns. But sorry. Let's move back on that comment.
what do you wish?
But
Guilty by association.
hold on. Go back to the Miami Dolphins. Do you like the new logo?
I mean, either way, the logo wasn't intimidating, so now it just looks fresh. So it's fine. I don't care.
So you like it?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't care.
Okay. Well, I like it too.
Okay, as long as you like it.
But
I mean, Dan, do you like it?
I like when I had a helmet on.
You were more the
Yeah, it looked like he was gonna go at him, you know. Now it just looks like
okay. Well, going towards the game, I'm going to pick Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to be much improved this year, and I like the way Whedon's playing.
Okay. Jan?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Miami. Yeah, Whedon, whatever. It's just Whedon.
Wow.
He's not scary. He's on the Browns. Like,
Man, that is scary on the Browns, Trent Richardson. But I'm going to go MIA and pick Miami Dolphins. New look Miami Dolphins, see what Ryan Tannehill can do in year 2, just like Whedon and Trent Richardson. Can Mike Wallace really live up to the hype of that contract they signed? Probably not, but this could be at least one of the games that he does look like he's going to live up to it.
Yeah,
It'll be close.
Joe Hayden might have something to say
We'll see.
about it. Okay.
It'll be close. Minnesota at Detroit. Dan?
Yeah, Detroit is just it's just not a good team. I mean, I'm going to have to go with Minnesota. I mean, Christian Ponder is not much, but they got AP, they got new receivers and stuff. So
I'm going to go with Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not picking the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going
picking
with Adrian Peterson. And he plays for the Vikings, so I'm going to go with him.
Right. I'm going to take the AP check. This could be the game they set the record for most. It resets his record for most rushing yards in the game.
I would hope
Could
so.
be.
That'd be a great game to watch.
What a way to start off. We hope so, at least for fantasy football's sakes. Oakland, Darrade as in Charles Woodson, versus Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts. Pete,
Oh, I got luck.
you got Luck? Are you sure?
I'm feeling lucky.
This is your guy, Charles Woodson.
Woodson can only do so much at his age right now. He can't help the quarterback in the offense.
That's true. That is very true. I will, Dan, go to you here. Oakland at Indy, who you got?
Oh, definitely Indy, especially if they're playing at home.
Yeah, I agree. Andrew Luck, I think he'll have a big game against a very bad defense. Charles Woodson, but again, like Pete said, it only be so much. It's not a good defense.
No, look at Woodson.
Solid. It's solid.
I think Andrew
Just the
Luck,
offense is
Reggie Wayne gets 2 touchdowns. I believe the Colts win this one. Then we got Pete's Green Bay Packers versus defending NFC champion San Francisco 49ers. Pete,
I got Niners.
you want to elaborate on why you have the Niners?
I have the Niners because this team is not. The Packers have not proved to me that we could beat a physical team. So, this is more of like reverse psychology type of thing, where I'm picking a team, but I really think the Packers might win this. But I'm picking the Niners because
You just want the point.
Well, the Packers have
You
not.
want the safe point. I
No,
understand.
because the Packers have not proved to me that they could beat them.
Well,
So-
yeah, if it was like last year in the playoffs, and I'm scary.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Kaepernick, he saw them on the schedule and he was pretty happy. So
We got Green Bay, San Francisco.
Since you elaborate all that, I'm just going Green Bay. I'm not going to say much more. You just said the whole story.
Yeah, we're both going with Green Bay here. You ain't giving your Packers no love. No love, no
They
love.
lost the Super
hey,
Bowl.
they have to earn
Alright.
it.
I want to talk about this because it's talk about Colin Kaepernick and how he tore up Green Bay. Year 2 with Colin Kaepernick as a starter. What do you think he's going to actually do this year?
Well, I think
Now, like the Johnny Manziel thing where he said teams had time to prepare.
yes.
What do you think about Kaepernick?
But I think with Kaepernick, it's different because he's also, I think he's a lot better thrower than Manziel is.
Well, yeah.
So I think, because the whole option and him running with the Manziel, that's totally different. But with the read option that Frisco does, and them having the best offensive line in football helps with everything. So as long as his receivers can get open, because he really doesn't have the greatest weapons there, but
No, I think
he's gonna
Crabtree
have,
being gone.
but he's going to have time with that line.
right.
That it's going to open up things. And it's not 49er football for them to pass. So they're supposed to lean on the defense and run the ball. That's their
Right.
job. And Kaepernick is going to, all he has to do is make a couple plays a game.
Well, yeah, let's
So-
see with Michael James and Kendall Hunter if they can help out Gore a little bit there and see where they can go. Because, yeah, Kaepernick does not have the weapons they did last year. We're going to go out to St. Louis where Arizona heads into town to face the St. Louis Rams. Dan, who you got?
I don't like the way St. Louis plays lately in just the past few years also, so I'm going to have to go with Arizona.
Okay. Go ahead, Pete.
I'm going to have to go with Arizona on that one as well. I feel like Fitz finally has a capable quarterback to throw him the ball. And I feel like that defense is going to be much improved from Arizona. And I really like the hire of
Bruce Arians?
Bruce Arians. I love the hire. He did a great job with the Colts last year during when Pagano was out. So I feel like Arizona's going to be much improved as well.
I believe Arizona. If you're a Cardinal fan, you got to feel real bad you're in the NFC West now.
Yeah.
You used to be really excited, but man, tough for them because I think this is one of the teams that will have probably one of the biggest turnarounds besides the Kansas City Chiefs. Finally, a legit quarterback there in Carson Palmer. I think he's going to love that system with a great receiver to throw to again in Larry Fitzgerald. And Bruce Arians, really smart offensive mind. I think it'll be a really good team, and I think they take out St. Louis. Then we got Sunday Night Football on NBC. The New York Giants heading into Jerry Jones' Playhouse. Dallas Cowboys. Who you got, Pete?
This is like when we did our NFL preview. It's tough to choose between the Giants and the Cowboys because I really don't trust Romo. But then I don't trust Eli. And then talking about that, I'm picking Dallas. I don't even know if Dallas has even beaten the Giants in Dallas. I didn't believe
Since that new stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Dallas, and I think this is a big turnaround year for Dallas. It starts Sunday night.
Go ahead.
Like you said, I think it'll be a good turnaround year for them, and I'm just going to pick Dallas.
I will agree. And 3's a crowd, but I'm going to take Dallas as well. I agree with everything Pete said. It's really hard to trust Romo, but real hard to trust Eli. I trust Des Bryant more than I trust Victor Cruz.
Or Hakeem Nicks.
Hakeem Nicks got to prove he can stay healthy.
Yep.
So I think Dallas, and I agree also Dallas has a turnaround year. It starts Sunday night. Then we're going to go to Monday Night Football where these games are worth 2 points apiece. First, Chip Kelly and his Philadelphia Eagles, not Ducks, my bad. Wrong year. Against the Washington Redskins, RG3. Should be on the field. All signs point he's going to play. Dan, who you got?
I think I went against you guys. I think I picked Philly. Right? Yeah,
Philly.
Well, you guys be watching there, yeah. I feel like, Chip Kelly, I think he'll make a great team out of the Eagles this year with Mike Vick on the field. I think it'll always be a good game between them two. Even though I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think it'll be a good game between both of them.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that also. Pete?
I feel like it's tough to pick this game because you don't know if RG3 is going to play. All the signs point to him playing. But I feel like, regardless of the quarterback, but this is going to be a really close game, but I feel like Washington's going to pull it out.
Yeah, I agree. I am also taking Washington, even though I can go either way. I agree with everything Dan said about Philadelphia. I think Chip Kelly, a lot of people, including myself, ripped the Eagles when they picked up Chip Kelly. The more you think about it and the more you really watch it, I think this is in the pieces that Philadelphia already has on that offense. Now, their defense is a complete question mark, and that's not good. But the offense, with Mike Vick, I think he has a really big year, kind of like the years he used to have in Atlanta. LaShawn McCoy, I think, will excel this year. Not AP level, but real high. But I agree that the Redskins somehow are going to pull this out with RG3, and they're going to take this one. And then, obviously, the game of the week here that ended all off. Houston at Pete's favorite quarterback, Philip Rivers to town, San Diego.
I hate Philip Rivers, Houston.
Philip Rivers, Houston sounds like a good name.
No, I'm picking Houston, and I hate Philip Rivers.
Oh, there we go.
Thanks for clarifying yourself.
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to pick Houston. They're definitely a strong team. And it's with San Diego. Yeah, they're crap.
Yeah.
Philip Rivers isn't going to change that.
Wow. Things escalated quickly, San Diego.
Houston.
Stay classy, San Diego. I will agree, and I will take Houston because they're just the better team. They got J.J. Swat, so they're going to win this game. But I also will agree with Pete that our hatred for Philip Rivers is pretty equal.
We were honestly thinking about doing a podcast
just on our hatred for Philip Rivers. Don't like him at all. I hope he does. I hope he does. If he does, that'd be awesome. But I don't like him.
You know what? He probably would be watching this because he probably won't be watching film.
What if he was going to follow?
Okay.
What if he was going to follow us? And he's like, no, I want this.
Well,
it's fine.
I'm going to lose.
It's fine. I don't really want to lose as well.
Wow.
He's got connections.
We will. That is our week 1 picks. Well, wait real quick. I want to touch up everybody pick on their upset game. Dan, first, your upset pick.
Yeah, I picked Tennessee over Pittsburgh. I don't know. Because Pittsburgh, I feel like I don't feel like they're going to be a good team this year, and I feel like Tennessee's they're not going to be very good this year, but I think they'll play a lot better than they have in the past couple of years. I feel like it'll be start of a turnaround this year, so I feel like Pittsburgh's a good way to start it off.
All right. I feel you. Go ahead, Pete. Your upset pick.
I got the Cleveland Browns over the Miami Dolphins in Cleveland.
Are you going to be at that game?
No, dude. I'll be at school, so I won't be at the game.
What a responsible student decision that is.
I'll probably be watching it. Probably have that on TV.
You'll be hitting the books while the Dolphins are hitting Brandon Weeden.
Ooh. Okay, they might be hitting them, but I'm telling you this, Tannehill's going to get killed. Okay. I like Cleveland in this game because I feel like Richardson's going to be able to control the ball, and I like the way Weeden's playing. Again, I'll say it again. I really like the way he's playing, and I feel like the Browns, when they have their couple upsets, they're usually at the beginning of the year. So I feel like this can be a game they upset.
You know your statistics at the beginning of the year. You know teams' tendencies. I like it a lot. Like it. You are way better than Adam Scheffner any day.
Dude,
way ahead of Skip Bayless.
Much better than me.
Way ahead of Skip Bayless, though.
Okay, we're not going to diss Adam Schefter because I love Adam Schefter.
Well,
he knows what he's doing.
Can we diss Skip Bayless?
Okay, Skip can be.
Yeah.
We're going to give him so strong of a diss, we don't have to talk about him anymore.
Got you.
That's how bad it is.
My upset pick will be the Green Bay Packers over the 49ers at San Francisco. I think Rodgers, he plays pretty good in California. Doesn't do too bad. Not too shabby. Early in the year, I think A-Rod's going to light it up. Not juice it up like the other one. But I think he's going to do a good job, and I think he's going to have a big game. And I think Eddie Lacy will also have a pretty good game. Big tank that he is. I think Green Bay takes it. So that is our Week 1 picks. The upsets. Dan's got Tennessee over Pittsburgh. Pete's got the Cleveland Brownies over the Miami Dolphins. And I got the Green Bay Packers over the 49ers. We will keep track of that, and we will see at the end of each week who does better, and we'll keep it all the way till the end of the year. I know I wasn't going to touch up on the Sox and Cubs. I just want to because there's been a few moves, making little moves since last time we talked about them. It's been a while. Last 10 games, Sox are 6-4, Cubs are 3-7. Upcoming series for the Sox, at KC for 3, at home for Texas and Houston. Each of those are 3. The Cubs, they started their 4-game series at home versus Washington. Then they're at San Diego and at the scorching red-hot Dodgers. Pete, talk about the Cubs. Some moves you've liked that they've made. Any prospect stuff going on right now?
Well, the only thing good to really talk about when you talk about the Cubs would have to be down on the farm with their big prospects. Baez keeps hitting home runs for Tennessee, and a couple days ago he just hit a 2-run walk-off, so he's a flair for the dramatics. Also in that game he made a couple errors, and then he struck out a couple times, so you're getting your good and with the bad with him.
Like a Starlin Castro type of thing here.
No, he's a power hitter though.
More power than Starlin, but the defense doesn't always
people are kind of
catch up with the bat.
People are kind of comparing him to Alex Rodriguez in terms of that, but hopefully he doesn't take steroids. And then they have another prospect in Daytona who's doing real well, Chris Bryant, who's got a chance to make the opening day roster.
That was their first pick this year, right?
Yeah. The first pick. He went from Boise rookie ball to high A Daytona because he's developing so much more as a hitter, and because he went to college. They just skipped Kane County, and he's doing really well.
That's a shame. I really would have liked to see him at Kane County too.
Yeah,
that's sad, but tear it up.
Yeah, and then the Cubs today just traded David DeJesus for a player to be named later, which creates money for the Cubs because they save about $2.5 million. And what's funny is because they've talked to DeJesus people and Jed Hoyer, the Cubs GM, talked to people. It looks like DeJesus actually might come back to the Cubs after the season's over.
That's why I scratch my head though. What would be the point of making the move then?
I don't really see the angle with the Nationals because
it's not like they're going to make a playoff push.
They're not winning the division for sure.
No.
And
the wild cards.
The wild card's definitely going to come from the Central or the West. So I'm not really seeing the move here. For the
I didn't understand that. Maybe they just wanted to eat up some more money. I guess. I don't know. Move to the South Side. Hey, we're on a winning streak. We swept Minnesota. That's 3 games in a row. Finally, a winning streak here at the South Side. I'm really feeling it now. Feel like we're on a roll. I like it. Made a couple of good moves. Got rid of Rios. We only had to pay I think another $1 million out of his contract. So Texas ate all that. Thank you so much. We did a couple moves when we traded P. We got Avisail Garcia. He's a young stud in our outfield now. I like it a lot. I think that's a good piece to move on. I think the Sox mean, now their farm isn't as happy as your farm is at all. You guys are crowded with prospects. We are just have a scarce few prospects. But I do like Sox clearing cap space, get rid of guys. I think they try to get rid of Dunn and Canerco too.
Yes.
Again, the Canerco one that probably get me right in the heart, but moves gotta be made. I understand. It didn't happen though. So Sox making some good moves, getting some young guys in there. I like it. We are 6-4 in our last 10. Wow, we're doing better. But I would prefer us to just tank it now so we can get the first pick, get some good prospects, and let's get rolling. But either way, both teams are in very, very similar processes right now. Rebuild. Some rebuilding faster than the other. That's fine, though. Me and Pete decided we wanted to do something here. Since this is Pete's last official podcast with him actually being here, since he does go to school this week, back to Ohio. We wanted to do right now, if you had to fill 9 players, 9 and then a DH, that you wanted to take right now and build your team around them. That could be guys that are older, could be young guys, could be prospects. Your choice. Pete, I will start with you.
Okay, for my team in center field, I'd probably have Mike Trout. Doesn't really have to say much about Mike Trout. Pretty self-explanatory. I'd put Will Myers in right field. Chris Bryant, the prospect that I talked about with the Cubs, he is a third baseman currently, but because the Cubs have so many third basemen right now, it looks like he actually might not play third base. So I'm going to put him in left field. I'm going to put Manny Machado, doubles machine, at third base. And then at shortstop, I'm going to put Javier Baez of the Cubs. I feel like Starlin really is actually going to play shortstop, but Baez could play short on my team here. And I feel like Baez will play third base on the actual Cubs, but I'm going to put him at short here because he's playing there right now.
Alrighty.
Second base, I'll have Robinson Cano because I know Cano is kind of an older player, but there's really no young second baseman out there that I could really choose. I mean, you could go with, I guess, Darwin Barney, but I don't even want to do that as a Cub fan because I feel like there's no big guys that you could build around. I mean, Chase Utley's at the end of his career. There's a lot of guys that are down on the down, and Cano's the only guy that's really consistent right now. At first base is between Chris Davis and Paul Goldschmidt for me, and I went with Goldschmidt because I feel like he's more of a consistent hitter, and I feel like Davis, I'm not sure if this is just a one-year wonder or if he's actually going to be consistent for the next couple of years. And then at catcher, I went with Ryan's favorite player, Joe Mauer. I went with Joe Mauer because he's consistent. He is
very, very consistent. Can't take it away from him.
Solid hitter, and he
just plays for a crap team.
Yeah, he calls good games. And then at pitcher, I got the Mets, Matt Harvey, and well, that's self-explanatory. He started the All-Star game. I mean, it did help that the game was in New York, but he's got filthy stuff. And then at DH, I have the best hitter in the game, Miguel Cabrera.
Alright, I like it a lot. I will start. I got Mike Trout in the outfield, just like Pete. He's a young stud. He's awesome. He's fast. Great defense. Great baseball IQ. Great hitter, obviously. I like it a lot. I got Avisail Garcia. Young kid. I haven't seen a whole lot out of him yet, but I think it's a good piece on this team. Just not, a centerpiece really, but a guy that's a very good complementary piece for a team like this. In my other outfield, I got Bryce Harper, just like Trout. Fast, good defense, good baseball IQ, great bat. Pretty easy to pick him. At third, I also agreed with Pete because I took Manny Machado. Guy's a stud. He's a great third baseman defensively. He's a really consistent hitter from what we've seen so far. I like it a lot. Very good young talent to build around. At short, I got Gene Segura. I think, as we've seen from him this year, he's hitting for high average, hitting the long ball pretty well. And he's helped the Brewers after losing, not having Braun much of the season, really become a very good focal point for that team. At second, I didn't take a guy that is an MVP caliber player like a Robinson Cano or anything like that. I took a guy I think is just a good complementary piece in the lineup. and a good consistent defender. And you were seeing this year his bat's been picking up ever since he came back from the injured reserve. That is the White Sox Gordon Beckham. At first, I was torn between a few first basemen, including Goldschmidt and Chris Davis. I agree with you, Pete, that I don't know if this is really Chris Davis's, this is just a one year wonder. Is he going to really step it up? Because he's been really had nothing. We haven't seen anything like this when he was in Texas.
Very inconsistent.
Right. But I went to St. Louis and I took Alan Craig, another good young first baseman like Paul Goldschmidt. He's got the long ball down, good average. I think this is a good guy to build around. At catcher, I took Buster Posey, former NL MVP. He really has carried the Giants for the most part the last few years, besides when he was hurt and broke his leg. I like him a lot. I think that's a good guy to have on the team. My pitcher, I have about 5 you could probably toss around here that you want to really build as your number one ace. Matt Harvey's a great choice. I'll go out to LA, though, and I'll take Clayton Kershaw. He's got nasty stuff. He's really a great power pitcher, but he's got devastating stuff, and I like it a lot. And at DH, I agree. Miguel Cabrera, greatest hitter in baseball right now. He'd have better numbers than he did last year when he won the Triple Crown. He could easily win the Triple Crown this year if Chris Davis wasn't doing so well, home run wise. So I like that. That is our future, our 9 that we would put in there to build a team around, or just in general, something to work with as a good team developing.
2 teams that probably wouldn't have many losses.
No.
You put those 2 teams out there.
No, I don't
those are
think
some
so.
good teams right
They're very, very good. Fancy team. This, as we said, this is Pete's last podcast here officially till winter break.
It's so sad.
Look, Freakster's gonna cry. He's upset. But we will fill it in. Oh my. We will have Pete letting us know his picks though, and we'll be giving them to you. We'll also be probably tweeting his sleepers, stardom and sit-ems for fantasy each week. We didn't give them to you on this podcast. It's a little too soon. As it gets closer, we will be sure to tweet them. That's it for this podcast. You can follow us on Twitter, and it is at Second City SC. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Second City Sports Chat. Subscribe to us, listen to us, share the videos on YouTube, youtube.com/Second City Sports Chat. For Pete Argus, Dan Freakster, best of luck at OU, Pete. We will see you guys later. I'm Ryan Ebner. This is Second City Sports Chat.